Welcome to the Billionaire Belief Show. This is Dane, and I'll be your guide. Thank you for tuning in. Today's topic will be two psychological barriers that hold aspiring entrepreneurs back. Let's go ahead and dive on in. I found a pretty cool resource today while I was doing some research. It's a website called studenttoceo.com, ironically. The producer of the site is a young lady named Ashley, and they pretty much walk you through the process of they share stories, I should say, about entrepreneurs that started young and what they're up to now as an entrepreneur. And I thought it was a pretty cool site, especially the name. So go check them out. And I was listening to the podcast on Spotify, and one of the guests said something that was pretty interesting, and it was what led me to today's topic of two psychological barriers that hold aspiring entrepreneurs back. And the guest talked about two things: one, desire; two, doubt. Those are the two psychological barriers in question at this point in time. And it was interesting, hearing him talk about it because it just had me going back to previous confidence crises I'd had throughout my personal entrepreneurial journey. And it was crazy because I can now narrow down like what was causing me to have certain quote unquote doubts and a lack of desire when it came to the project, as well as my entrepreneurial endeavors. And so hearing him talk about that really obviously had me thinking, but it made me also realize that there's a lot of other individuals, going through the same thing. So if you're struggling with doubt, if you're struggling with desire, then let's go ahead and talk about it. So when it comes to desire, obviously, how bad do you want it? Do you want it enough? That's really what the desire comes down to. And when it comes to pursuing your own endeavors, trying to be an entrepreneur, own your own enterprise, start your own business, create your own products, whether it's physical products, whether it's a digital products, whether you're providing a service, whether you're working a franchise, no matter what your entrepreneurial endeavor is, no matter your hustle, you're you gotta want it, and you gotta want it bad enough to where it really an obsession, as they would say. You have an obsession with seeing it come into reality. Bringing it forward in a sense. And so until you get there mentally, you're not really gonna be able to execute effortlessly when it comes to your business ideas. You're not going to be able to achieve the level of success you desire for yourself because you're not taking yourself seriously. You're not taking your entrepreneurial endeavor seriously. And so that's why you have to have an intense desire for what it is that you want to do. You can't take it lightly. It has to be a priority. It doesn't come before your responsibilities in life. You still gotta take care of those, but in your quote unquote free time, you in a sense have none in that. You're focused on building out your entrepreneurial vision. You're focused on bringing that into a reality, and whatever that is. And so you got to be dedicated. You got to be focused, and you got to just concentrate. On again effortless execution. And you get there. You get to that place of mastery through putting in the work in regards to learning the knowledge that you need, as well as having the conversations with certain individuals in regards to just insight in regards to whatever you're trying to do, as well as putting in the personal work, I should say, or working on yourself, specifically when it comes to things like your emotional maturity, and your emotional intelligence in regards to excuse me, regulating your own emotions, your ability to do that, those are going to be important steps on your entrepreneurial journey, because the better you are at controlling your own emotions and regulating your own levels of desires, the more efficient, and effective you'll be as an entrepreneur when it comes to your execution, your performance. And so desire is important. You got to want it. Again, it doesn't come before your responsibilities in life, but outside of the things that you need to do, you gotta want it. And until you really want it, again, until it just dominates, your mindset, in a sense, it dominates your focus. It dominates your train of thought. Until you get it into that point, you're not going to be, as focused and as quote unquote inspired or motivated, to get the work done. So again, action step in regards to what you can do to get the desire. Believe it or not, it's the learning. And so learning equal mastery. Well, learning equals mastery. Mastery being, the ability to execute effortlessly without conscious resources. So think of, as an example, tying your shoe. So if you have to, when we first learn how to tie our shoes, we have to take a lot of concentration, a lot of focus, a lot of dedication to the task. The first couple of times until we quote unquote learn how to do it, or we reach a level of mastery to where now we can just tie our shoes and do, other things while we're at it. But anything else that you want to learn, or any other skill that you want to have, any other ability, it's the same process. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's just you learning a new skill set, adding to developing your current skill set, I should say, and then executing, putting what you learn into work. I mean, into practice. And that's what's going to help you, cultivate that desire, get that engine running, because again, little by little, every new discovery that you make, it's going to make you want to go more and more and more and more. And so, the more you truly get focused up and fired up for what it is you're working on, that's what's going to lead you, in a sense, forward. And again, you don't necessarily have to have it all figured out. So don't get hard. I mean, don't get down on yourself because you feel you don't have all your you don't have a sense of clarity, pure clarity, I should say. But just have a general idea of where you want to be. What think long term. What industry or what type of role, and then reverse engineer it. That's an easier way to figure out what you need to be doing, as opposed to trying to reinvent the wheel. But what you again want to focus up on when it comes to desires is, you gotta want it enough. You gotta it has to be, a constant thought. And until it is, what I mean, you're not gonna really take yourself and your business ideas seriously. So get focused, get desired up, and like I said, want it. So the next psychological barrier was doubt. And doubt is an interesting thing because it's self-inflicted first and foremost. And we do it to ourselves unknowingly a lot of the times, but we do it because at the end of the day, that's all we know how to do. So today, let's reprogram. Let's learn some new things. Let's reach a new level of mastery when it comes to dealing with doubt. So doubt in this regard is pretty much operating outside the norm. So you trying to do something entrepreneurial, which is outside the norm. Most Americans are taught to believe that, if they get their university degree, they'll be able to get a good job and same old. Live the American dream. So being an employee is what most people are basically bred to do in this regard, because from the moment we're young and we start getting asked that question, what do you want to be when you grow up? We already self-identify most of the time as pilots, doctors, nurses, firefighters, things of that like, which are basically quote unquote jobs, being employees, whether you're working for the civil service or a private company. And still, you're working as an employee, and there's nothing wrong with being an employee. Just like everyone wasn't meant to go to college. Everyone wasn't meant to be an entrepreneur. So, for those of you who believe you're here to create, let's talk about overcoming this thing we call doubt. So again, you're going to be operating outside of the norm, as an entrepreneur, and you're gonna, like I said, it's going to be doubt that's self-inflicted in a sense, but doubt in regards to worrying about what people are going to be thinking about you operating outside of the norm. And so, because you're doing something that's quote unquote, not the usual course of action, the usual path, you're doing something outside of the box. People are going to have words. They're going to have opinions. That are not going to mostly be favorable of you, and it's going to, if you let it get to you, I should say, it's going to create a lot of a doubt, and it's going to allow you to question what you're doing. Again, worry about what they're thinking about what you're doing, and all that mental energy that you're putting behind that, isn't going towards you achieving your business goals. Making your business ideas come to life. And so, in a sense, again, you're robbing yourself in that way as well. So, focus or give energy to the things that you want to accomplish. Not the things that you can't control. Focus on the things that you can control. So you can control, where you put your effort to. So execute effortlessly on your goal. Don't worry about what people are thinking about what you're doing. They're gonna have their opinions. Accept it for what it is. Even though you don't agree with it, accept it and move forward. Because that's the only way you're gonna be able to again have that desire. Keep that desire, that fire in a sense, keep it burning. You got to keep it white hot. And so, the way to do that is just to overcome the doubt. Not to buy into it. Don't conform to what others are thinking, and you'll be okay. You'll be able to work through it. Get through to the other side, and with the ultimate goal of achieving your business goals. And so you just gotta stay focused up. You gotta stay focused up. You gotta stay, like they say, keep your eye on the prize. Stay focused on the big picture of what you're trying to accomplish, and again, like, don't let the desire, the lack of desire, I should say, and then buying into the doubt, stop you from achieving your goal. So, two psychological barriers that hold aspiring entrepreneurs back is the desire, not wanting it bad enough, and then the doubt. Buying into other people's ways of thinking, conforming to their thinking instead of believing in yourself. And so, again, don't worry about what others are thinking about what you're doing. You're doing you, and as long as you're focused on creating products that are going to help people's lives change for the better, and things that are going to be done for the greater good of the earth, then you have nothing to be worried about. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Just go out there and, again, execute effortlessly. That's the best thing you can do. Is just execute effortlessly. Learn what you need to learn so that you can execute effortlessly. All right? And so that'll do it for this edition of the Billionaire Belief Show. It was a pleasure as always. If you have any questions, feel free to email us, billionairebelief@gmail.com. Don't forget to pick up the 3-step Beyond Aspiration Roadmap over at the website, billionairebelief.net, just so you can stay locked in, stay accountable, stay focused. So, again, we can execute effortlessly. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I'm here to help. Make it a great day. Peace.